Hey, what's going on, guys? Jamal Long here, providing you guys with another trading recap video. Today was a red day Friday, finishing up the day down 540. Ooh, crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. But it was a good day, even though I was down, right? So I'll break down the trade, let you guys know why I decided to trade, and let's get right to it. So today I ended up trading a spot, right? And trading a spot today was, to be honest, it was choppy, but at the same time, I took two trades on the spot, right? So my first trade happened. I tried to take a position once the market opened, right? And so as we rallied up to this 282 level, I got one of my indicators that kind of indicated that this was in a downtrend, right? And so once I saw that indicator, and I saw that we did not break back above this level because this 282, this 282 40 level was like a huge level of resistance, right? And so as I noticed that we broke below that level, right, and then we went up to retest that level and failed, I knew that we would be in a downtrend. And so I tried to get in right here, but the order did not get filled at the price that I wanted to get in. And so as you can see, this move happened without me, right? It's a nice little move downward. And so, yeah, but then I said to myself, hey, let's just watch and see what happens, right? And that's exactly what I did. So as the day progressed, I was watching, and noticed around 11 o'clock, well, 10:50, 10:45-ish, I saw that we briefly broke below this 281.50 level. And every time I traded SPY for the past week, every time I saw that level, I knew it was a huge level of either support or resistance. And in this case, since it has been a huge level of resistance, it would be a huge level of support, right? Because every time the price is above that particular level, it's considered a level of support. And so as we broke below this level briefly, I said, hey, let's watch it. So I created an alert to let me know the next time that happens, right? And so that happened a few minutes later, right? So we broke below that level briefly. And then as you can see, we ran up and could not make a new high before pulling back. And so as we pull back below that level, I was watching it. So we went down, right? We held that level briefly, but we broke below that level. And once I saw that we broke below that level, I waited until about 10:51 and I jumped in, right? So as you can see, around 10:51, we went from about 281.47 and down to about 281.16, right? So I ended up jumping out about this 25 level. So I was in the trade for a few minutes. My first trade, I was up 80 bucks, right? And then I said, hey, you know what? Let's see what else is out there. But I also was cautious because I jumped out right here. But my charts, the reason why I jumped out was because my charts were not updated, right? So as we started to break below, my charts were not updating at all. And so I was somewhat frustrated, like, hey, what's going on? What's going on, right? And then we started to move lower. But luckily, I was able to get out with a $80 profit. And then I said, hey, you know what? You shouldn't trade, right? You shouldn't trade again because your charts are not acting correctly, right? You're not working properly. I even tried closing down I closed down the application. Um, things just wasn't working. Even my notifications on my phone were not coming through, right? So they were coming through late. So I knew it had to be something wrong with the platform, to be honest. Um, on the server level. But I ended up taking another position, right? So I waited, even though I said I wouldn't, right? Sometimes you you just have to listen to yourself, and that's exactly what happened today. So had I listened to myself, I would have finished up the day up $80, but ended up taking a loss, right? So my second position was as we broke back below this level right here, right? So around 114-ish, as we broke below, no, it wasn't at 114. It was around 12. This is where it was at. So I knew that 282 was a huge level of resistance, right? And so I saw as we broke below this level, 282, push back up before failing. And then as you can see, we came down, pushed back up, and we failed again. I said, oh man, this is primed and ready to go lower, right? So I jumped in. And I took it, I jumped in, but as I jumped in, the charts weren't updating, right? So I'm seeing my P&L move, but this wasn't updating, right? The charts were just constantly freezing. And so I'm like, oh man. So I gave it like a second, and the next thing you know, I looked back and I was slightly down, right? Because at that time, I was slightly up, but then I was down, right? So as it came down through here, I was up, but then it wasn't updating, right? So it went below, hit this level of support for pulling back up. And then as we came back above this level, that's when charts were freezing, everything wasn't going right. And I'm like, oh man, not again, right? I just had this issue my first trade. So that's what happened, right? Charts started freezing. Next thing you know, we were in an uptrend. And by then I was said to myself, well, you know what? Let's just hold on and see what happens. And ended up holding on. And as we broke above this level, that's where I jumped out. So, going from being up to being down, right? All because my charts weren't acting right? Literally having some technical difficulties. So, one thing that I would say to you all is that sometimes you gotta listen to yourself, right? If your first position, you're up, and then your system is not working properly, don't trade, right? Because you can easily be up, and then next thing you know, as a result of technical issues, you can be down. So, finishing up the day down. This is my second loss in this account, right? I think my first loss was about, I don't know, a few weeks ago, but it was about 100 and something bucks. And so now this loss, right? So hey, it is what it is, learning experience. But overall, the intent with regards to my trades were my strategy, right? It was doing the things that identifying my trends, right? It went up, hit that level of resistance, pulled back, and that's where I got in. Couldn't break above that. And likewise, on my first position, it was the same thing, right? Broke below level of support, went to retest, failed, pulled back. And so the strategy is there. It's working. It's just that today just had some technical difficulties, right? So on that note, I'll pick this back up next week, but today's Friday, right? So it's Friday. Got a few things going on this weekend, so looking forward to the weekend, right? Yeah, so on that note, we'll pick this back up the next time I trade. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and yeah, we'll talk soon.